Efforts ongoing. CMP at its peak, 375,000 people without power. They hope to have up to 1,000 crews working to get the lights back on by the weekend. They say the first prioritized places were hospitals, schools, and even transmission system, known as the backbone of the electrical grid. Versant saw roughly 17,000 customers without power at the height of the storm. Most of the outages currently in Washington and Hancock County, but as restoration efforts continue, both CMP and Versant have messages to their customers.
We ask that people be mindful, give those crews space to do their work. Please slow your vehicles down when you go past them. Give them plenty of room. We had a couple of near misses during the ice storm last week. In one instance, a motorist actually sideswiped one of our bucket trucks because they were going a little too fast, maybe weren't paying attention. We're gonna have a lot of men and women out there working the next several days. Our priority is making sure everyone gets home safe at the end of the day.
To never touch a down line or a tree on a line. It can become energized at any time, and you can't tell just by looking at that line if it does have power running through it. If you're using a generator, we always want to remind everyone to follow the manufacturer's guidelines. Use it away from windows and doors to avoid any fumes entering your home.
CMP says that Sunday and Monday are days they're looking at for full restoration. Versant expects the mainland outages to be fixed by tonight.